This podcast is for general informational purposes and entertainment only and should not be considered medical advice. Dr. Ashley is not responsible or liable for any advice, course of treatment, or other information you obtain through this podcast, and neither am I. So if you have any real problems, go see a doctor in person.
This is the full release.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah, let's just start out with a big apology to our fans. Whoa. We have just not been doing a lot of episodes.
We've been out of our mojo. We've been out of our mojo.
We've had good mojo, but we haven't been recording that mojo.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We feel terrible to everyone at home who has had full release blue balls.
Yeah.
It's a new phrase we're coining. As an apology, we are putting this on YouTube, and Ashley is in a gorgeous, sexy chiffon.
It's not chiffon, babe.
Silk.
It's not silk.
Wool.
It's not a
Ball gown.
It's not a ball gown. I am wearing a gown. I'm wearing a full-length dress because I have no reason to other than I haven't been able to look nice in a very long time, as all you other quarantiners, I'm sure, feel. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to wear a dress. I'm going to wear a full, long dress that's not made out of chiffon. But yeah, and Mo was like, oh, I'm going to like make my hair extra large. If you
I'm
guys
not making anything extra large. It's just the hair, the eyebrows.
The eyebrows are extra good.
The chest hair was shaved recently, but the rest of the hair situation is very
Clogged
intense.
my drain.
Clogged
that was
your
great.
drain.
That was great. And the plumber wouldn't come because of coronavirus. So
yeah.
So thanks for that. You're
welcome.
Yeah.
How is everybody's corona going? How are you guys doing? Okay, not a lot to say. Shy bunch.
No, but seriously, we don't really have an excuse. I mean,
No,
right?
we don't.
Were just. I mean, I've actually been busy. I mean, not going into the hospital as much. But I'm working a lot from home, and I am still taking call and everything. And then,
in our defense, over the last month, we have been saying we need to do a podcast. We need to do a podcast,
like
and
every
also
day. Yeah.
saying we need to plan the wedding. We need to plan the wedding, and we've done neither at all.
I spent a lot of time being stressed out about the wedding and doing nothing about it.
Yeah,
so
no.
thank you.
Ashley has accomplished buying 5 billion items online. I don't know if any other people out there are online shopping addicts, but if you are the spouse of someone who does that, give me tips how to.
I have a hardcore
live with
problem.
this.
But here's the thing: it's not that I just like want stuff. It's like when things are on a really good sale, I feel like
it's almost like you
it's
need
my
to buy
duty.
them.
It's my duty to take advantage of that sale. So then I'm
Right.
compulsively like, oh my god, this is more off than it's ever been off before. I have to.
And
take
even though you don't need
take
another
advantage. Like,
fucking bag,
I don't need anything.
No, not at all.
But I'm doing that. So between that and being stressed out about our wedding, and deciding whether or not we're gonna be able to do it.
Well, now that I see how much clothes and shit you buy, I'm starting to question whether we should get married.
No, you're not.
Because now I'm like, she's gonna broke me.
No.
She's
no,
gonna
you
broke
don't.
me.
Because I only buy things like 70% off
Yeah,
sale.
that's
So it's
true.
actually like I spend extreme amount of time looking at things and like scrolling.
But why are you even thinking about clothes right now? We can't go outside. Like all I'm thinking about is maybe investing in a second pair of sweats. I mean, because what are you buying all this shit for?
It's an
for
investment.
Where?
Yeah, I don't know.
An investment in what?
In the future when I can go outside. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be ready. But by then, all the fashion might have changed. Chiffon might not be the new thing.
Chiffon. Here's the funny thing: is actually chiffon is very on trend right now.
Is it?
Blouses.
Is it on fleek?
I don't think on fleek is a trendy word
It's
anymore.
not on fleek. It's not on fleek
You're like
anymore,
that was even But
fleek's no longer the bomb.
right. Right, there you go.
Can we just kick into some exciting news?
Yeah, let's just move on with things.
Hey,
let's just move on.
This is kind of cool. I don't know. We've talked about this before. That I've shot a TV pilot, and we're hoping it's going to go to series. It's for the Discovery Channel, and it's going to be airing as a special.
This is awesome.
With aims to being picked up to series if it does well and people connect to it. And it's going to be airing on the Discovery Channel May 20th at 10 p.m. And I'm going to be on the show right before that with Josh Gates at 9:30. So it's called Small Town Throwdown. That's the title. And please watch. It's really funny, and it's really kind of a heartwarming show, I would say. And I'm the host, so it's also a handsome show.
Can we give any like sneak peeks? A handsome show.
It's a handsome show.
It's a handsome and hairy show.
Well, I wasn't as hairy when this was shot back
Extremely
in
hairy.
January.
Yeah, but you were wearing like a hat that kind of looked like your hair.
That's true.
So it was.
Don't
like,
give away the spoilers.
No, okay. I have seen the rough cut of it, and it's freaking awesome. Am I allowed to say?
You can. Well,
is Mo has doing various antics
Antics is not a very descriptive
No,
term.
I know, but I wanted to get into deeper. Like he's
get
jumping
deeper.
He's jumping into very cold bodies of water.
Let's not give away too many. Yeah, let's not give away details like that.
Okay.
Let's just say
He may or may not be doing that, actually. He may
each
not.
week on the show, we visit towns that have received really notorious, bad reputations, and I go there to kind of find out if they deserve these reputations.
So, like, do you go to your hometown for having a reputation for having you?
No,
And
that
then you ask people just your opinion on yourself?
I have not. That's more of a season 3 one. But basically, we go
So
to
it gets
towns
deep.
like, it's like the smelliest town in America, the ugliest town, the stupidest town, the most, dirtiest town, the most roach infested town, or just, and we go
you
there
see
and we
what they have
find
to
out,
say.
and, let the community speak for themselves. It's
Yeah.
really funny, and Ashley is not in it, so you're going to not like it.
That's true.
Anyway, so that's my plug.
Although I saw footage of you talking about me.
I
on
do
it.
talk about her on the show.
So there you go. I think actually I am that important.
You
to
are sort of
that,
in there, yeah.
That even in your own show, you can't.
Yeah, we should talk to producers. Maybe we can get a little credit there. Urologist described is actually Ashley Winter, DDS.
But anyway, so to everyone
Yes,
who,
get it.
what, like I'm a dentist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't
whatever.
get it.
That was
So anyway, everybody watch it.
Everybody watch it and tell
Everybody
all your
watch it.
friends and tell everybody because it's
Yeah.
really going to be freaking awesome. And it has, we just want everybody to tune in to enjoy it and make sure that the whole series flies,
Yeah, make sure that it's not just Mo Mandel stay-at-home trophy husband. Make sure it's Mo Mandel working television producer host guy.
Okay. So I have another public service announcement.
Whoa, public server.
Whoa.
Trigger the sound effect.
I don't know. What is it?
Oh, we don't have any sound effects. Okay.
It's a PS. The more you know.
Oh, we're doing a more you know?
I don't know. No, we're not. Okay. I am helping one of the urologists that I collaborate with on some research projects, who's based out of the University of Miami. I'm helping him with a research study. And the research study is basically looking at women's perceptions about erectile dysfunction. So it's really interesting. If you actually look through the medical literature, there's very little actual studies on this topic.
I can tell you how they've responded to my own.
Tell me the top 10 experices of women
10? Jesus.
responding to erectile dysfunction.
I can't whittle
through
it
the
down to
years.
that small of a number.
Mashup sequence here.
No,
but really questions, right?
Yeah.
And whether or not they're founded in truth, how often, when women have a partner with erectile dysfunction, do they feel like it's their fault? Or do they think it's their fault? Or does it change the relationship? Or, all these things, right? And these are things that have kind of been talked about and written about in popular TV and movies and, whatever on I don't know, Vogue or Women's Health, or Men's Health. And people kind of hypothesize about these
Right.
things. But what percentage of the population?
Do any women think it's their fault?
We don't know because
Oh, that's a spoiler alert for the article?
we have to do the study.
Oh, so you're doing the study
anyway,
now.
so to do the study, we're just having women complete an online survey. And we are going to post a link to the survey with this episode. Mo,
Oh.
you're going to do that.
I didn't know that.
And
I didn't know I was going to do that. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, you're going to do
Well,
that.
I'm so excited to do
We
that.
have 2,000 responses already
Oh, that's
to
great.
the survey. Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
great. So we're going to post it. It just takes a few minutes. It's for a good cause, which is to help our understanding of sexual, sexual perceptions.
That's
and,
cool. That is really good. I'm actually
yeah.
really curious about that because I do a joke in my stand up that when men lose their erection during sex, where it's it's not your fault. Women are like, yeah, dude, it never occurred to me that it was my fault. But I'm curious.
But some women,
But,
I do
yeah.
think, internalize, thoughts about it. And I had told you,
We're filming Instagram videos as we do
Okay,
videos
okay,
for
we're
the
doing more
podcast. So
videos.
much video,
So-
podcast video.
yeah, lots of things.
The full release is
Mo's
back,
getting under
bitch.
my dress here.
I probably did.
Anyway, so
So
no,
yeah,
I mean,
the
I
link.
basically,
Yeah.
people internalize feelings about it, even if they know, intellectually it may not be their fault. It might undermine their relationship. I mean, I've told you in the past that I had men who had erectile dysfunction after prostate cancer surgery, and afterwards the women that they were in relationships with thought it was their fault, and it affected their relationship.
Yeah.
And so it's just nice to kind of expand and collect information on a broader scale and look at what the trends are. You
Yeah.
know? So we'll post a link to it. It's also available if you go to the sex subreddit. It's posted there. So if you look up actually the following on the our r/sex on Reddit, research survey, female perceptions of erectile dysfunction. But also if you just like looked up on Reddit, research survey, female and erectile dysfunction,
Right.
you would find it.
Or
So-
you can go on Pornhub.
No, it's
That
not
has
there.
nothing to do with it.
It's
but
not
you can
posted
go
there.
there
That's
and see
not
what
where it
happens.
is.
See
No.
if you learn about yourself.
But you can go on Pornhub and look up owl eyebrow porn, and you'll find a lot of videos of Mo of himself.
Ashley is saying I have owl eyebrows. I don't even know what that is.
We're gonna take.
So what are we going to get into this week? Aside from our various plugs, do we have sexual medicine questions?
We have a lot. Yeah.
Should we give the phone number out because it's been 7 years since our last podcast?
You're right. Yeah, we have some good calls. So our phone number is.
Ooh, do you still know it? Let's
do I-
see. I'd be amazed if you still know it.
213-631-3460.
I mean, it sounds right. You want to check?
213-631-3460. You got to check, babe.
All right, I think
So,
that sounds right. Let's film
this
that.
is
Let's put that on
something-
Instagram so people can see. Here we go. Ready?
We're not going to double check it. We're just going to
Yeah,
take a
let's
video of me
just do
saying
it. Yeah,
something
we'll
that
just
might
triple
be
down.
right.
So if you guys want to call the Full Release podcast and hear an actual doctor's answer or not answer, see what she has to say to your medical thing, whatever. What's the number, babe? What can they call?
213-631-3460.
That's right. Or you can email at thefullreleasepod@gmail.com. Was I right?
Oh, yeah.
Nailed it. All right, let's get into our first question. What do we got?
Wait.
Oh, we're not
done. I just want to go into one other thing. So Mo, what I've learned, actually, this made me think about this, is he can't remember any password ever.
Right.
So I was helping him set up a password manager, and he would like have to reset all of his passwords to record his passwords in the password manager, and then forget what those reset passwords were immediately after he had done it.
It was probably the
it was
least-
literally the most infuriating thing I've ever experienced.
It was not
Like, I
a
can't
happy moment of
even-
my life either. No.
Yeah. But anyway, so we are going to dive into a few sexual medicine questions. We're also going to talk more about coronavirus and sex. I do have some updates
You
on
have
that.
some updates.
Some key emerging updates, yes, and some older non-COVID related questions. They're not older, just
Is
like
there anything
non-COVID.
non-COVID to talk about these
There
days?
is, there is. So-
not
so-
according to every news station I've seen. It's just been all COVID all day.
Right. Well, we're going to give you some other stuff.
Wow. Only here.
So we're gonna
dance.
thank you. So we're gonna have that for you. We're
Oh,
gonna
by
have
the way,
some-
if anyone's listening and say, where do we find this on YouTube? It's on Mo Mandel's channel. So I am the co-host. Hello, I'm Mo Mandel. And
Yeah.
it's on my YouTube channel.
yes.
So there's that.
Okay. And so we're going to talk about some non-sexual medicine questions, including like if you're, well, I guess we'll go into the question later, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to ask the question
I'll give
now,
the recap. I'll give the recap. If you are allergic to something and your significant other or your sex partner of any kind takes that medication, could you have an allergy to some of their secretions? Okay, so that's
Ooh,
kind of the
interesting.
question. So
Yeah.
we'll find out more about that.
So like if your lover is allergic to cats and you dry yourself off with a cat when you get out of the shower,
well, no, that's not really.
then
not really.
will you? That was the question
Yeah,
specifically that.
that was yeah.
If you dry yourself off by rolling around in a pile of puppies,
Yeah, if
to
you
dry off.
use like Calvin Klein peanut fragrance,
right,
and you are allergic to peanuts,
that's an interesting.
how would
question.
that
Yeah, that's
how
interesting.
would that affect you?
Yeah.
Yes, these are
If
all
you use a tampon made of peanuts,
right. That's a really great question. Okay, so but before that, I just wanted to one more thing. I wanted to just say that I've been really loving quarantine life with you.
Thank
It's
you.
just so great. I know Mo didn't really know if he wanted to marry me because
it's true.
we hadn't really lived together.
That's not true, but I was a little nervous about it because we hadn't lived together, and now that we have, I'm thrilled about it. Yeah, we've been having a great time. We really
We
have. We've
have,
been playing
we have.
Exploding Kittens. That's not
We
an
have.
ad, but it's a
No.
fun game.
And we've been dancing together.
We danced one
to
time.
we danced to the Dirty Dancing song.
We danced one time and knocked over a table and actually broke her phone. That's
Okay,
true.
can you tell us the story about your Dirty Dancing story?
Well, we
If
should.
you know what, you wanna-
let's say
okay,
it. Let's
we'll
do it.
get- we'll
I
get
don't
it.
want people
Fine,
to tune out because they're like these fucking narcissists are not
okay.
talking about questions. So I
Fine.
do want to tell that story, but let's get
All
at
right,
least one
all right,
question.
All right.
See how I
fine.
try, guys?
And then we'll go back.
Yes, we will go back.
Okay, fine. So,
Let's give a phone question. Can we do that?
we can do a phone question. So let's do a call in that's a recap, like a response to our last episode. Let's just dive into that. How about
Okay,
that?
let's do it.
Okay. Oh, wait. And I do have one other thing. I have to make a correction.
Okay.
In our last episode, I said they had not found coronavirus in urine yet. And they subsequently have. So I have to make that correction. That is emerging scientific evidence since our last. So I have a
anyone
correction
who's been
to issue.
drinking urine worry-free,
Yeah.
wrong move,
Yes.
right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And the other update is that they have now done extensive studies on semen. In fact, even they've done extensive studies on the testicles of dead guys who died of coronavirus.
Trying to find what?
Evidence of the coronavirus.
But why? Is anyone really concerned about getting the coronavirus through sex? That seems...
Well, that's basically the question.
But
Yeah.
why would you be worried about that? If you're having sex with someone, you're already within 6 feet of them. So what does it matter if you're getting it through ejaculate or just air?
Well, I mean, like, there's all host of questions, right? Like, let's say somebody is a sperm donor, and
I guess there's that.
you know, are like don't want to get COVID from them.
Yeah, but isn't
right?
a sperm that you donate, like, that's not like going there within a week, right? You're not like donating in the next
Look,
room.
babe, I'm just saying, I think these are, it helps you understand kind of how the virus works. I mean, I just think there's like lots of.
I just think some of these scientists are bored and they want to just look at jizz.
Yeah, okay,
I'm gonna be
whatever.
honest, that's what I honestly think it is.
Anyway, so they did the study and they haven't found any evidence of the virus in the secretions of the male ejaculate, essentially, or within the testicles.
Good news for the, so in other words, and I'm just going to extrapolate here, all sex in the future should be done orally through a glory hole.
Well, this is what we were kind of talking about, and this
Yeah.
is what our caller inner will get. If you wore one of those like full-on bodysuits,
Yeah.
you know, and you just had the penis exposed, that might be pretty safe.
I think this is the age of the glory
You
hole.
know?
Speaking of safer sexuality, there's a strip club that we haven't gone to yet in Portland.
Oh, yeah.
That is all drive-through. So you
Mhm.
drive through in your car, and I guess there's like it looks like a tunnel area with all these strippers on the side. It looks
I don't
like
think
some
it's a
fucking
tunnel. It's like
looks like
it's just like a
apocalypse.
parking lot, and there's like stages
Yeah.
set up, and like smoke effects and
Oh, it
lights.
sounds like where
and-
Mad Max goes to get his
Yeah,
nut
it's
off.
very Mad Maxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We got it. We should
so-
probably go tonight.
So if you live in Portland,
We should
or,
probably stop doing
or
this and
you're-
go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. So there we have that correction from the last episode and an update, and now we're gonna do this call here.
Hey, Mo and Ashley. Hey, just wanted to give you a quick update. Called in a few weeks ago. I was the guy going to Mexico, wanted to try the Mexico Viagra. Just wanted you to know I didn't try it. Everything was good, but thought about it, but didn't. Anyway, just listened to your podcast today. It's Thursday, March 25th. And I just had a couple ideas on your sex positions. I'm thinking, why not just do it in the shower? Then you can just wash off right then and there and not worry about this global pandemic. Or just blindfold each other and you don't even know what the hell's going on. And then lastly, I was thinking, this is kind of wild, but Mo might like this, but I was thinking take a broom handle and duct tape a vibrator on the end and be 6 feet away and see how good you are. Anyway, love the show. Keep up the good work. Ciao.
What are you doing? Get it off! No! That was scary.
right.
Interesting questions. A lot of interesting answers.
And
he had.
suggestions here.
So,
Okay, so I would say out of his first three, right? So he had four suggestions, right? His four suggestions.
This guy's like
were-
the Elon Musk of COVID sex.
So his four suggestions were: one, do it in the shower.
Yeah.
Two, just
Do it in the
blindfold
shower
yourselves
is good.
and-
I would say
and-
the shower one's smart.
shower,
Yeah.
blindfold, and just have no idea what's going on.
That seems like it's
three-
not going to work to me, but maybe I'm not a doctor.
Three, what was the third one?
Use a broom handle so you can be 6 feet away. First of all, it's a very large
so that's
room.
fine. Okay.
And sort of,
Right.
which seems not enjoyable to anybody, I want to say.
I don't know. I feel like if you had a good vibrator on the tip of a broom handle, I would probably be okay with that.
Okay, well, it's something to look into. You
You
do
know,
have a birthday coming up in 6 months.
It would also be kind of a little bit like when you go to an arcade and you have to like grab the thing with the claw, like
Yeah.
like it's a little bit difficult. Like you got the hand there and you're like,
Yeah,
"Whee!"
yeah,
and
yeah.
like-
Actually, yeah.
and I'm
I
like,
can-
no, over there.
So sometimes, like, if you want to have sex and I'm watching TV, I can actually just sort of, crank one of these.
yeah. Honestly,
All right, that
I
one
was
actually is that's a pretty good idea. Then.
I was even thinking, like they're talking about how people who are dating are, fine, they're doing like video chat dates and stuff, but they can't really like hit that,
can't really hit that. Yeah,
without, because you gotta
that hit.
right.
You gotta get that hit in
so
there,
I
yeah.
wonder if you could make like chambers where, okay, like have you seen the way they do the contactless testing booths in Israel?
No,
Like it's basically like
is it with a broom handle in the
No,
vagina?
no,
That's how they do it.
no
Israel is a wild place.
No.
You gotta go.
Okay, basically there's like this big like plexiglass barrier, right?
Mhm.
And there's two of these like holes, and the person doing the testing puts their hands into these like gloves that go through the wall.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And then they can like do the swab.
So
and
you're saying if
everything.
there was a vagina on the other end of that wall,
So you could
you
make
could do it.
booths where there's like two sets of arms for each of the two people,
Right.
To like touch each other, and then there's a whole bunch of like toys on like broom handles and stuff that go through the wall, and then you guys could like have
There's
some
a great
fun.
scene in an
You know what I'm saying?
underrated film that I like to
But you
refer to as-
understand-
I do understand what
okay,
you're saying.
okay.
Have you seen the film Naked Gun 2?
I haven't.
I believe it's 2, could be 33 and a third.
I've seen 33 and a third. I don't remember.
There is
anything
one
about
part
it.
where they
Yeah.
say we should practice safe sex, and all of a sudden they're both in enormous body-sized condoms, and they're just rolling around on the floor with each other as condoms. So it's sort of like what you're saying.
Yeah, but that would be difficult to breathe.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't know how they worked that out. Leslie Nielsen, I don't know if he ever got there with his scientific studies in that area, but it did make me think of that. Yeah. I feel really bad. I'm curious to know, what are single people doing? Is it just jerking off and vibrating and fingering, and what's going on over there? Are people, I would definitely be breaking the quarantine now, and I'm not recommending that. I just know myself.
Well, I think-
would freak out and have to do it.
Well, I think that's what's, at least from talking with a single friend of mine, she said kind of, she had something going on with a guy and they were basically ending it. And then all this stuff
talking about.
and all this stuff
I know.
happened. And then they were basically like, okay, fine, let's just like keep having sex with each other.
Yeah,
until
I
this is
wouldn't be
over.
able to do the
So
those
even though
2
they weren't,
months or whatever.
even though they weren't that into each other, they're just like, they kind of make like an arrangement.
Right. Although
You
I would
know?
say you shouldn't break the quarantine. It's definitely ill-advised and bad. I'm saying myself,
Don't be
I'm
a
weak.
weak man
Don't be
like
weak
him.
like I would be.
Don't be a
Yeah.
weak man like him. Yeah.
But I do know my cousin is single, and he said he was very jealous that he said that you're having a nonstop fuck party going on during the quarantine.
Yeah.
I didn't describe it as that, nor do
Who
I think
said
that's I'll tell you off, Mike. I don't describe it as that, nor do I think that's accurate. But I think he's so lonely and horny. He's describing what we're having as a
Oh.
nonstop
it's not at all what's
fuck
happening.
party.
Yeah. It
That's
was more
not-
like a nonstop ice cream eating party until we
By the way,
we
can I
decided
just say, I don't know if anyone follows my Instagram, the real Mo Mandel on Instagram, but I've been putting a bunch of stuff up there, and I got a comment today that said, "Man, the quarantine 15 is real." The fuck, man.
that's bullshit.
First of all, I only gained 8 pounds. It's
You
not
didn't-
15, and a lot of it's facial hair.
and muscle. It's
Yeah.
all muscle, I
We'll
think.
see.
Okay, but so to get like real here,
Yeah.
if you were gonna do that thing with a 6 foot long,
No, it's not. That's not real. That's crazy. I don't want to. That's really. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to make sure that you were like sanitizing it between
Right.
uses. So that's what I was gonna say. My other thought was
Between uses. So you're seeing that out. That is gonna be. That thing is gonna be a busy broom handle.
this. I don't know.
Girls be calling them up. I heard you got a broom handle. How do I get swept up?
Could just like reach it down the window or something.
I do think
Um,
but there is something to be said for, like, okay, a spermicidal lubricant that they could put in a condom, right? What if they can get a COVID style spermicide that kills COVID, and you slather your bodies with that before you roll?
It doesn't
around?
exist, so don't do that. And there doesn't exist, so don't do that.
But does Trump think that maybe he could figure out how to
yeah,
make it
probably.
exist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then the putting a blindfold on and just not worrying about it. I don't recommend that medically.
Does that
I
work
don't
for
really-
any
I
medical
don't-
conditions that you know of? The old blindfold technique.
I certain ones like I don't know,
Like, what if you just, because I found that with psychological issues, a very effective thing is to force yourself not to think about it.
right.
So does that also work for medical stuff? If you don't
No.
think about something, does it cure itself? Or does
Well,
Jesus have to
let's see
cure it for you?
if you accidentally got run over by a car, your leg fell off.
If you
If you just didn't think about it,
right, Jesus wouldn't sew it back on. You're just saying.
I don't know what Jesus is doing, but wearing a blindfold will not fix that problem.
Okay.
So
Well,
I wouldn't recommend that one.
fair enough.
And then I also don't recommend the shower sex either. Okay.
So 0 for 3, dude.
Yeah.
0 for 3. Well, I'd say,
also, I don't like
0.5.
shower sex.
yeah, shower sex
I don't
sucks.
like shower sex. It's like too inconvenient.
There's not enough
And,
friction.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Water disrupts the natural lubricants. I'm just not a fan of that. I'm not very agile. So
Right.
Yeah.
No,
No, I
it's
don't-
not good.
thank you for calling in and making your suggestions.
Yeah,
I mean, I
we do
really
appreciate it,
that.
yeah.
But we have to break it down, you know.
And we're bluffing. We're going to try the broom thing later. Yeah. Yeah.
And we're gonna do it on Mo.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna vibrate his nostril.
I love it. What else
That
we
is one
got,
of his
Doctor? Oh,
hotspots.
should I go into the story about the song?
Yeah, I think you should.
So and I'm curious what people think about it. So,
Circle back here.
yeah, we're trying to figure out what song to dance to at our wedding. And
Oh yeah.
one of the most romantic songs out there is I Had the Time of My Life, by the Dirty Dancing soundtrack, I believe is the name of the band. And I swear it's true. So, wait, don't sing anymore. YouTube will yank it down. But that song is very particularly romantic to me because there was a girl that I was in love with when I was a youngster, like around 4th grade. I was in love with her for like 5 years of my childhood. And at my cousin's wedding, she was there as well, and we danced together to it. And it was just like the most romantic sexual moment ever in my young life at that point.
Yeah, it sounds more romantic to me than
It was romantic, but it was also, I was touching a girl's body. She was probably in 6th grade. I was in 4th grade. I mean, it's crazy how much you want to touch a girl's body when you're like a little fucking hornball kid, and it just never gets to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like
And it's like so exciting because you've never done it before.
yeah, it's so great to touch somebody that you've never, when you're at that point. It's still great to touch somebody now that you haven't lived with and heard fart this morning, Ashley. But
I don't ever fart.
Okay.
Just don't ever
Sure, I
say
have
that ever
I have
again.
about 40
Never happened.
minutes worth of cell phone recordings to
To capture that. You're like the guy who does the Nature Channel shows who like waits, like lurks to get the sound.
So anyway, we had danced to it, and it was very romantic, and I was so taken with it. When my mom developed the photos, she had been taking the photos of the wedding. I went through and found 2 photos of us together and stole them out of the pack and kept them under my pillow for years until they were like yellow from the sun. And I, at one point or a few times, I probably even danced with the photos in my room to those songs.
I mean, it's so adorable. Like, it makes me love you even more. The fact that you
I also grind my fucking dick into my pillow and mattress trying to figure out how to orgasm.
like you're
so
such
that
a
helps.
romantic. That's so cute. Like when I was that age, I was scared of boys, and I just thought boys thought girls were gross.
Yeah, I think I think that's kind of.
You've just always been a lover.
No, I just think boys in
This-
general hit that stride faster. They get that animal craziness in them faster,
Yeah.
and then women take it.
I don't know if most boys that age are like romantic. Like I
Never,
don't
I don't know if you'd call it.
4th graders.
I mean, what do you think? They're just 4th graders just imagining like just raw dogging chicks, bending them over a pool table? I don't think that's how it
I
works.
don't
You're like
know.
it's.
When I was in 4th grade, a lot of girls really craved Jonathan Taylor Thomas. That
Yeah,
really
well,
they
he's
craved
an
him.
international superstar.
They craved him sexually and romantically.
as they should have. So anyway, to bring it back to our wedding is we were talking about that song, and I said to her
So
like,
give us suggestions.
no, but I was just connected. I said I like that song but I was
Oh,
like,
right.
but I have a connotation with another woman in it.
Right. No, so basically
Well,
I
don't
wanted
even
to
say
do that
same
song.
woman. I'd say
and
at
Mo
that
said
point,
he
yeah.
was going to be thinking of that woman that he danced
Not even
with
a woman. I
when
would
he
be
was
thinking of me as a 4th grader and madly in love with this girl. And so yeah, I don't know. I'm down if you're cool with her coming to the wedding and dancing that song with us.
like our wedding song, like this rando girl is just gonna come out
Yeah.
and like we'll all three kind of like hug there and sway.
It's like a new thing. It's a throuple.
Do you remember what she was
bring
wearing?
a throuple in the name. I do remember what she's wearing.
Oh my God,
It was
tell
like
me what
a
it was.
pink. It was like a very sexy sort of chiffon, sort of a chiffon.
Do you
gown.
know what a chiffon
I have no
is?
idea what it is. No.
Do you know?
I don't know what it is.
All right, she's wearing a pink dress.
So it was like sort of like a reddish pink. It was very cute. It was very cute. Yeah, I was wearing a purple, I believe a purple or blue button up. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my
you're
God.
yawning. Wonderful.
I want to see those photos.
I'll find them somewhere.
All right, I'm sure you know exactly where they are. I'm sure they're like encased in one of those like
All right. The truth is,
document
when we're having sex, when
preservation-
I'm taking you from behind, I have them taped up behind the bedboard, and I just put them up.
It's like you press a little button and the wall flips,
Yeah.
and there's like a little thing so you can.
Wouldn't that be
see
funny
it.
if I told you what the dress is? You're like, huh? You bought me the exact same dress every birthday I've had.
All right. Well, anyway, I think that's creepy but more adorable.
All right.
It makes me love you more.
Okay.
and-
Okay, let's do another question.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
get back into this.
Yeah. We're going back into questions. So, okay, I had was asked by a woman who writes for AARP, and she
Associated American Association of
retired persons.
Retired persons. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a great organization, and she writes for their like newsletter or magazine, and she knew of our podcast because her daughter is a urology resident.
Huh.
Yeah. So it was really cool. So anyway, she had a bunch of questions for me, and I went through them with her, and I answered some of them, and I thought I would share some of
Interesting.
some
And
of
this
the
is going to be an
digging.
AARP magazine.
one of the AARP publications. I don't know
Oh, cool.
which one, but I will let you know.
I love it.
Your
All right.
parents will probably get it, and my parents will probably get it too. And then
That's right. Well, and my parents will maybe then they'll start participating again. I don't know when people have started to listen to this podcast, but my parents used to be an integral part of it, and they
yeah,
just
they were actually.
basically retired from that.
Yeah.
They AARP'd from that.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, the first question she had for me was, are people having more or less sex? How does free time, stress, being apart together more, and kids affect this?
Are she talking about during quarantine?
Yes. So that was great. The purpose of the article was talking about how the COVID-19 situation is affecting sex.
Right.
And obviously when we did our last podcast, that was like eons ago in the COVID-19 era. So now so much has
that was in the
changed.
early strokes. Now
Right.
we're really deep all up in them COVID guts.
Right.
Yeah.
So my response to her was the following. You know, there's been a ton of speculation about this, right? Like a ton. And most of it is just that speculation, like without evidence, right? So there's all these people. I mean, I think 4, 5, 6 weeks ago even.
You still want to
Uh,
hold the cord, yeah.
what?
No, I was just saying you were holding the mic on the cord and it might make a sound. There
okay.
you go. Yeah.
4,
now
5,
we're here.
4, 5, 6 weeks ago even, there was all this online like hashtag COVID babies, Corona babies, because everybody was saying, oh, everybody's bored
Yeah,
and
they're
they're at
gonna be
home
fucking,
and they're
yeah.
just going to be having sex and procreating.
That was before the broom handle position became very popular.
Right, that was true. That's
Swept
true.
the nation.
Right.
Bam!
Right. Yes.
Get it?
Yeah, I get it. I get
right.
it. Thank you.
Carry on.
Swept. Yes.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Okay.
It's a joke.
So anyway, you know, and then there's all this other nonsense online, right? Like you see the there's an article even on BBC, right, which is like the British state sponsor
British
broadcasting company, right? And they're like, yeah, they're like kind of like a you know, public radio
right.
sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, they're kind of a thing.
And,
yeah.
and they had a whole article right. It was titled "Sex is Down During Coronavirus," says President of Durex. Right, and Durex is a condom brand.
yeah.
And they're like, yeah, this guy says that, and it's like, well, okay, how does the president of Durex know how much sex people are having? Right. So it turns out that the number of condoms being bought of their brand has gone down. Right.
Yeah.
But that could be for a number of reasons. Right. Like, for example, when people went to the drugstore, they were only focused on getting toilet paper.
Or it could be that people are
Or-
like, the world's ending, fuck condoms.
right.
Who's scared of the herpes when the COVID monster's out?
Right. Or they maybe were dating a few people and that's why they needed to use condoms. But now since all of this started, they're having plenty of sex, but it's only with one person.
Well, that doesn't
Their
make it
quarantine
safe.
part.
They still have to have been tested.
But maybe
and-
that, yeah, but
you
maybe
know.
that happened. I'm just
Or maybe
saying.
they got tested. I think probably
So-
there is a lot less sex going on because I don't think a lot of single people are out there doing it to the same level. But now the question is the more sex being happened between people in quarantine offsetting that? I'm going to say no. I don't think that's probably the case.
So anyway, right. So this was all speculative until I found this article that is still in press, meaning it hasn't technically been published yet. Okay, a manuscript that
Oh,
is
your fun
in
terms.
what?
You just have so many fun media terms.
Oh yeah. Well, actually,
media. Oh, yeah.
actually, that's like
sexy.
science.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay.
For those not watching, Mo was just
I'm groping her.
yeah.
I'm
fine.
doing an example of the Me Too
He
movement.
was doing heavy petting.
Yeah.
Or was that light petting?
I was
don't
giving her
know.
one of the old Harvey Weinsteins.
One of the old Bidens.
Oh God! Don't put him in there.
Sorry, I am whatever. I'm not. I'm
Yeah, we know.
anyway. We're not talking about politics. Okay, and I'm whatever.
A registered Democrat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so there was a study that's in press that's coming out in the Journal of Sexual Medicine where they actually surveyed men and women between the ages of 15 and 45 in China in the middle of March. Right. And China was the first place to be affected by all of this. So really the
That's
initial
amazing.
data,
They did that in the middle, like
Yeah.
Wuhan's like in lockdown. So I was like, "Hey, how you doing? Do you have time?
yeah,
Just answer a
basically.
couple quick questions, unless you're busy, possibly
But
dying."
so this is the first real information we have other than speculation, right?
Yeah.
So they had almost 300 men respond to it and I think almost 200 women, okay? And it was interesting. So they said for example, 61% had unchanged sexual desire, 25% had reduced sexual desire, and 14% had increased sexual desire. So I think that's kind of interesting, right? And why there could be a number of reasons, right? So like if you're one of the 25 who is less interested in sex, maybe it's because you're anxious. Maybe you lost your job. You know, if you're depressed, you may not be as interested in sex, right? So some
they say
people,
that's part of the reason the Japanese, population is where it is. Less sex has been happening because when the economy's been going down over there, men are feeling less motivated to have sex because they somehow feel emasculated by the lack of economy. I feel like I read that or I made it up. Either one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. But yeah, so, in this particular case, more people, not only, irrespective of how much sex they're having, people are less interested in it, right? So this idea that like, oh, people are hanging around with less to do, that they're just going to go and have more sex, well, that has to be linked to a desire to have more sex, right? And if you're stressed out and you're anxious and you're not making money or whatever, depressed, you may not want, right? Or what if you have somebody in your family who's sick or got coronavirus? I mean, like you might be distraught over that, right? You might be grieving. So there's different ways that this could be affecting. So that was kind of one of the first data
Also,
points.
look, it's just a matter of a lot of it's about time,
Yeah.
And when you go grocery shopping and it takes fucking 3 hours as it does now because you have to wash everything off and all that.
Right.
I mean, it just sort of eats into your time.
Right.
And you can't get your kids out of the house or people have kids. I can't imagine. I mean, I don't even, I ask my friends sometimes, like, how are you guys having sex at all? Like, you have kids in the house all the time and you just have to kind of sneak it in. Like,
Yeah.
we've been having a situation where we can hear Ashley's neighbor through the wall a little bit.
Oh, this
And,
is drama.
and so this is drama, right? So we were hearing some sort of like some music, right? So Ashley forces me to go over there, even though it's not my apartment. And I have to ask her to turn the music down. And
Mo's
she's
just cuter than me.
That's not true. But actually, the reason Ashley has me do is because she's way more aggressive than me and would go full blown New Jersey on her.
That's true.
Yeah, I wanted to be like, listen.
I'm very confrontational. Like when I get going with confrontation, it's not like I play brinkmanship very aggressively,
Yeah.
and it's not necessarily how I want.
I mean, the girl over there turned out to be pretty cool, and I think we worked it out. But she did come in a little hot, and I wanted to be like, listen, sweetheart, if I leave and the fucking New Jersey Dragon comes in here, it's not going to be pleasant for anybody.
I'm from New Jersey. That's why he's saying
Yeah.
that. It's not like
So don't make me leave. But she ended up being very cool. We worked it
Anyway,
out.
so
anyway, the point is, when I was telling her that she was kind of
Loud.
when the music was loud, she goes, "Well, I mean, I can hear you guys too, and I hear you guys have sex." And we were like,
and it
Oh.
was horrifying. Yeah.
"I didn't know that."
Yeah, I know.
How much have you been hearing?
I know. I know.
And
And then Mo was like,
if
so was
anything
it
was weird, that was another guy. I just started dating her this week. So anyway, the reason I say that is
why did you say that?
I don't know. Oh, because it made me think, how the fuck are my friends who have kids having sex?
Oh, right,
Because people
right.
can hear, and it's just, it must
And your
be.
kids are like at home all day
Yeah, I
and
don't know
you're
how to
just
do
like
it.
they're not doing anything and yeah, I don't know. Okay, and so the next data point was what was it? the frequency of sex. So more respondents reported less frequent sex than more frequent sex. So that was just on average, basically, people were saying they were having less sex.
Okay.
And then, interestingly, 20% of women said they had increased sexual satisfaction, but only 11% of men said they had increased sexual satisfaction.
Wait a minute. You're saying more women are feeling sexually satisfied during the coronavirus? Why?
Well, okay, there were on average 35%, and this is kind of the way the statistics were reported. Okay, 35% of both genders said they were having less sexual satisfaction. Okay, and then it wasn't just more or less; it was less, this unchanged, or more. Okay, so on average, 35% had less. Okay, then a decent amount of men said their sexual satisfaction was unchanged. And then 11% said it was more. Okay. Women, 35% less sexual satisfaction. Not many had unchanged sexual satisfaction. And then 20% said they had more sexual
So what do you think would be the more? Would that become, there's less of a, maybe there's more time now for
they bought
the
a new
man?
sex toy?
Maybe. Or there's more time now for their partner to get them off because they're not rushing off to do anything because they can't do anything anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's
If
interesting.
anybody is from Wuhan is listening, we'd love to know what's going on over there.
Well, and that's the other thing, right? So we have to take this not as a universally applicable, whatever. I can't say that.
There's certain words I can't say either.
Yeah.
I've been struggling with a few words myself lately,
Yeah,
and it's like
like love.
what is that? Not love. That's
Poop.
mean. No, but there's a couple words like that. What is it? Why are there certain words we can't say?
I don't know. Applicable.
hold it up here.
Sorry. Anyway, so I don't know if it applies universally because this is a very specific part of China. They have their own cultural norms. They had their own government policies at the time.
It's a cultural tradition in China that during the coronavirus, sometimes you enjoy sex more. It's an ancient culture.
No, but
mysterious.
Regardless, the overall takeaway from this was that it's the first real research study looking at this, and sex was down. And
Right.
Another part that I didn't really go into here was that of people who had high risk sexual behaviors, like multiple partners with unprotected sex, that dropped off precipitously. And, probably as you would expect, people who were kind of in monogamous relationships, it was not as much changed. But it was still down.
Okay.
And then there was an interesting thing about married people having reduced number of partners, which they didn't
What does that
really
even
clarify.
mean?
I don't know. Either there's a lot of polyamorous people in China, or it means that people went from 1 to 0.
You know what they're doing? I don't know. I think they might be doing this here in America, but my dad was telling me about it. Where lonely, seniors who are totally isolated, there's like, it's almost like an Uber type thing, but younger people just come hang out with them.
Oh,
Which is pretty cool,
Yeah,
as
that
long
is
as those
cool.
people have been tested. But like, that's a good thing in general. Like, I remember looking into doing that when I was into volunteering years and years ago, back when I cared and was a better person. And I was like, I'd like to volunteer with like elderly people. And there was like so much like training and tests and all this shit you had to go through. I was like, fuck it. It's just too much.
it's probably because of liability.
And
Blame
then
the-
I was like, well, what can I do? Well, I don't want to give up weekends to be tested and not tested to have to like go through like training. What can I just do? And they're like, well, we have this like HIV homeless people's coffee shop that we need people to kind of like.
So did you do that?
Yeah, I did that.
That's
for, like,
cool.
Yeah, it was pretty
You
wild.
have
It was pretty
fun?
wild. I don't say I had fun, no, but I felt like at that time in my life I had to do some like charity stuff. So
I
was
did
doing that.
Habitat for Humanity. I hated it.
Yeah, I mean, doing charity work is very gratifying, but it's not generally all that fun.
It wasn't
to
gratifying.
Do. Wasn't you didn't
No.
get gratified?
No, because the woman whose house we were helping, it was after Hurricane Sandy, and we went to Staten Island, and we were helping
Oh, you
build
told
his
me.
hat.
Yeah, you told me. She's
And the
kind of a
lady
bitch.
whose house we were helping like fix up just would come out and start yelling at us. Like she wasn't even nice. And then she was like standing around there doing nothing, like not helping. And she didn't look like,
What do you mean not helping? You were building her house. She wasn't supposed to help, was she?
I don't know, or like offer us like some water or something.
Right,
I don't know, or
right.
just be like nice. I was very, it makes me
Yeah.
feel like a bad person. It does, but whatever.
I mean, I would say, yeah, most of the time I've done charity work or volunteer work during it. I'm like, I can't wait till this is fucking over. But then I talk about it for years on podcasts. Do we have time for one more question? I think we do. Let's do another phoner. I like phoners.
Yeah.
And again, guys, thank you for bearing with us. We are going to be doing more episodes, right, Ash?
Yes, we're going to be
We
doing
are.
so many. And next time Mo is going to be wearing
I'm going to be wearing the chiffon.
the chiffon.
We'll both be in chiffon. What else is going on? Oh, you had a nice little thing with Dr. Drew. You want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, I mean,
This is pretty cool.
I had a patient, and he said that when he, was a teenager in the 80s, he, really didn't have any access to good information for queer youth, and he was so distraught over the fact that he was gay that he almost killed himself. And because of Dr. Drew's radio show at the time, and him providing a hotline with kind of resources for queer youth, that the guy got help and he lived. And he said he felt like Dr. Drew saved his life. So I went and told
Amazing.
Dr. Drew that, and Dr. Drew was super stoked. He said it made his month. So it's cool. Things that you do that are good many years in the past can continue to give, and you can give someone life. And Mo and I are bad people, so we're not like that. But
So you're saying in 30 years, someone could call like, hey, just
the Full Release Podcast saved my life.
destroyed my life, destroyed my marriage. So fuck you guys. We hate you both. Okay,
Yeah.
it's nice to know.
Okay.
Do we have anything else to talk about? I know we have another question, but I'm trying to think if there's anything other things I wanted to mention. No, just again.
I'll be on Dr. Drew's podcast again at some point coming up. I recorded an episode with him. I don't know when it's going to air.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Okay.
He's probably not airing it because people are not driving around as much. And again, my Discovery Channel special / pilot will be airing May 20th on the Discovery Channel at 10 o'clock. Small Town Throwdown. It's really funny. It's really cool. We go to Lubbock, Texas, which is known as the most boring town in America. And we go to Appleton, Wisconsin, which is known as the drunkest town in America.
And it will remind you of the sweetness of pre-COVID days. Where you could hug strangers
You can hug strangers.
and do things like that.
There's
Get
not a lot-
chased
yeah,
by
there's
strangers.
There's some hugging going on, yeah. Well,
Get
don't give away
kicked
too
by
much.
strangers.
All right, settle down. Well, now you're just getting
Noogies.
wild. No noogies. All right, one more
Tickling.
question. Let's do another good phoner.
Okay, we're going to do this good phoner.
Here we go.
Hey, Mo and Dr. Ashley. This question is mainly for Dr. Ashley. I had a question relating to basically my wife is allergic to penicillin, anything in that family for antibiotics. So if I am on those antibiotics, is there any reason that she should be complaining about any kind of vaginal discomfort, or should she be having any irritation just because it is in my system? Therefore, it may be in my sperm. So if you can give me any light on that, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
I'm just going to go out and say this. I feel like we've done this question.
We've talked about allergy to semen, not exposure of someone to something they're allergic to
Okay.
through somebody else's semen. Do you
Well, even if
understand the
we
difference?
have talked about it, I don't remember the answer, so I'm sure no one else does.
This is why you're such a great co-host.
Ow. That is I really don't know what the answer is on that. I'm kind of curious. I mean, it seems like a rudimentary question, but at the same time, you're like, well, maybe it does make sense. Like,
Yeah.
So what is the answer? Is there a doctor in the house? Is there a doctor in the house? Oh, there you go.
Beautiful one.
Beautiful one.
Susa.
Chiffon. Yeah, chiffon.
Okay, so interestingly,
Yeah.
there are case reports on people having allergic reactions to semen when the man who produced the semen was taking an antibiotic that they were allergic to.
Wow.
Okay. So this is
That
actually
didn't filter out.
a documented thing. Yeah. And so here's some examples. One, anaphylaxis, probably induced by transfer of amoxicillin via oral sex. So basically a woman who was allergic to the antibiotic amoxicillin, had oral sex with a man who was taking that antibiotic, and had a case of anaphylaxis, which is such a severe allergic reaction that you basically like break out in hives and your throat swells up and you can't breathe.
So that's what this guy
And-
did. That happened to this guy after he went down on her.
No, she went.
She went down on him and then had that.
Yeah, so basically,
Jesus.
yeah, and he was probably like, "Oh, my load is just so
She's
huge,
like, you
she
told me you
can't
got
breathe."
tested. He's like, sorry, I didn't know I got tested for that.
Right.
That's fucking horrifying.
Okay, so then here's another case report. So this is a woman, basically 5 minutes after she had vaginal sex without a condom with her male partner, she got hives all over her body, shortness of breath, tightness in the throat. She said they did not engage in deep kissing or oral genital contact, and she had a
Yeah.
known history.
That should be if you start experiencing that on the blowjob phase, don't go to deep genital contact or probably even shallow genital
Yeah.
contact. Yeah.
So anyway, so the point I would say here is the following, okay? In at least these reports, the symptoms are the classic symptoms of an allergic reaction, right? Meaning that like shortness of breath, rash, itchiness, right? And ones that you have all over your body. So I don't know if isolated discomfort in the vagina would be caused by exposure to an antibiotic somebody's allergic to. Maybe if it's one that they had a much more mild allergic reaction to. But I would say that there are also other reasons why a woman could have vaginal discomfort during sex, right? Like not enough foreplay, hormonal issues. I mean, many of the things we've discussed in this podcast
Horrible
before
lover.
that Mo has forgotten.
Lover with no sexual skills.
Right.
Right.
So anyway, the point being, it definitely has been reported. I would suggest in your case, Guy, that you try, maybe stopping the antibiotic if safe to do so,
Yeah.
and seeing, how if the sex reverts back to the not uncomfortable way, and if so, maybe next time you need to be on an antibiotic that your wife is allergic to, that you guys like wear a condom or.
Yeah.
Or
what I always do, and people have lauded me for this, is before I have sex with any new partner, I jam an EpiPen up my asshole, just in case.
That's great.
Just in case there's an allergic thing, I just dig that EpiPen out,
Wow.
and then you give them the shot.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's just another thing you can do,
Right.
if you don't have testing equipment, or if you're, on a road trip.
Yeah. So anyway, so I thought that was just kind of interesting.
I
'Cause that was
think-
something
that's
legit,
fast,
and
yeah.
you can and it makes sense because you can find antibiotics secreted into the ejaculate, right? Like, for example, if you have an infection of your testicle that's called orchitis or epididymoorchitis, right? There are certain antibiotics that are very good for penetrating into your testicle to kill bacteria there, right? So if the antibiotic is able to get into the testicle to kill bacteria there, it makes sense that it would also kind of
Come out of
complete
the
the
test-
loop,
yeah.
right? And get secreted, right? Like, why wouldn't it? I mean,
Now, is
makes sense.
it a healthy way to administer medicine then through ejaculating?
Right, like maybe next time I have like a sinus infection, like you should take the antibiotic and just ejaculate in my nose.
That is sort of.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm basically saying.
This is what you're saying.
A penis is sort of needle-esque. Maybe we
Right.
sort of push.
Your
it.
penis is needle-esque. That's.
How dare you?
I mean, you
That is interesting.
set yourself up for that.
Well, fuck, we're on a roll. Should we just do one more question?
Yeah, let's do.
Let's
one
do one more.
This is really the best question.
Well, this has been a great episode. I mean, I think we're coming out strong. We're reminding
Strong.
people why they should stick around with and bear with us. But we're going to start doing it more. We need
Yeah.
to start doing it more. Okay. And thank you for the people who wrote nice things on iTunes, haranguing us to start doing this, because we got to do it. We've
We
watched
do.
7 Van Damme movies. We got to start.
Yeah, but I
doing
never-
podcasts.
Yeah, his
Ashley's
butt is
been-
nice.
Now she's been enjoying his butt.
I do enjoy it. We should put a photo of his butt back in the background.
Very much.
Van Damme's butt, not Mo's.
How dare you?
Mo is a good butt, actually. He does
Thank
have a
you.
good
It's
butt.
much hairier than Van
I
Damme's.
chase him sometimes when he's like walking around
Let's do the question.
naked. And,
Let's do the question.
okay.
Oh, it's a phone question? We have a third phoner?
Hey, Mashley. I am calling in with a question. Not gonna lie, it's 5 in the morning and I'm very, very drunk. I was just wondering, You know how people shove stuff up their butt and like you always see the stories of people going to the hospital with just things errantly stuck in there or whatever, and they can't get them out. Why, if like most of the time, I feel like all I use my butt for is pushing stuff out. Why can't they just shit out whatever stuff there? Love the podcast. Keep up the good work. Oh, I'm going to bed now.
Is this the guy who used to? Is this the guy used to call? Is this the guy used to? Are we on? Is this the guy used to call and was always like my biggest fan?
I don't know.
Remember there was a guy.
Yeah, no, I know. I know that guy. He was the one guy who liked you better than me.
Yeah, sounds kind of like that guy.
Might be. It was a good question.
It's a really good
So
question.
just to
I kind of
summarize-
wondered myself, actually. Yeah.
Right. And really what his question is to medicalize his question.
Medicalize it,
right?
yeah.
He's saying, right, people put things up their butt and they have to go to the ER to get the things taken out of their butt.
Right.
But as we know, the colon expels things, the colon and the rectum and the anus, right? They expel things through a process called peristalsis, right? Peristalsis is basically that the muscles have this wave of effect
Sexy
that pushes your
peristalsis.
poop out, right? And it only moves only in one direction, right? Because your poop doesn't decide and then you reverse direction come out your mouth, right?
So
It
you were
always
like,
goes out. It always goes out the
That'd be
anus, right?
Right.
This is true.
I never knew that. So shitting is called peristalsis.
Shitting is not called peristalsis. The kind of Honolulu dance.
Wait, what are you doing? You're
the
doing
wave-
the test. You're doing not. You're doing the intestines.
Yeah, the intestines.
Oh, okay.
The intestines squeeze, right?
Ah.
So your intestines are always squeezing. So that squeezing is called peristalsis. And many organs do that actually. Like in your urinary tract, your ureter has peristalsis to push the urine out, right? So it's kind of the squeezing of muscles that you don't think about in a lot of your internal organs is called peristalsis.
Huh.
To push things out oftentimes. Okay, so his question is, why do things not just come out if you have peristalsis?
Right. Why can't
Right.
you just grunt it out?
Right. So a lot of that reason is because of the kind of shape and directionality of your rectum, and also to bear in mind that if you for example, right, if you can get backed up from your own poop. Okay. That's the answer here, right? Like he's never been in a situation where you can't poop, but that happens, right? So if you got like a giant rock hard stool, it also wouldn't come out. And when people have to go to the emergency room to have that fixed, it's called disimpaction, where basically, a
And
doctor
why
or
doesn't
nurse.
that come out? It's just it's too much.
Yeah, it's too much, right? Your
Right.
stool is usually kind of like soft, the caliber is not that big, right? So it's like,
Caliper.
what? It's true.
It's just funny. I've just never heard of that term. Not in bullets. It's funny
Yeah.
to think of you having caliber.
Oh, that's so funny.
shits.
I ask people about the caliber of their stool all the time.
Really?
Yeah, when you
There's
get
a full
old,
metal jacket.
when you get to the age where you're getting colon screenings and stuff, they're probably gonna ask you about the caliber of your stools. Like this is
Let's hope so.
older people. Like I was talking to a 95-year-old guy the other day, and older guys love talking about the caliber of their stools. Like this is something you get asked enough that you just know is a thing.
Life sounds like it gets awful at the end.
Yeah. But anyway, so if you had something the size of a basketball
Your grandfather's watch.
of stool in your poop, you would also not be able to get that out. So the
Right.
peristalsis can only do so much, right?
So basically, what you're saying is, if you put a car battery up there or something, it's like those muscles aren't strong enough to lift that out.
Kind of. It's kind of like that, but it's also the opening is not that big, right?
Right.
Like your anus is not that big. So
You'd think if it could get in there, it could get out of there.
yeah, but the strength of your hand to push something in there is stronger than the peristalsis of your anus, right? Like if you had a little hand inside of your rectum.
And some people might, as they're listening to this.
But I'm just saying, right? That's that would be the equal factor, right?
Yeah.
If you had a hand inside your rectum pushing things back out, but you don't. So that's basically why everything you put in your rectum with your hand doesn't come out because
So-
you don't have a hand
So
inside
for anybody
your
listening,
rectum.
thinking, but I want to be able to shove things in my ass at random, and I don't want to have to think about it. How do I build up those muscles so anything I just randomly shove in my ass, I
You
can
can't.
easily get out? Is there a workout plan? Is
No.
there a video on YouTube that shows you how?
So that's actually an excellent question because those
Is
are
it?
what we call, there's
Wow.
a difference between the two main muscle types in your body are called skeletal muscle and smooth muscle. Okay, so skeletal muscle are the muscles you control, like your arm, like this,
Some of
right?
that,
This
yeah.
is a
Right,
skeletal
there you go,
muscle.
yeah.
It's associated with voluntary actions. Now, all the peristalsis happening in your ureter or your colon, going like this all the time, that's the squeezing of muscles you're not aware of, right? So your brain is happy that it doesn't have to say, oh, keep making poop. Like if you had to think that every second of the day, you wouldn't be able to do anything else, right?
It would be a very exhausting day.
Right.
Yeah.
So your body put your poop cycle on autopilot because it's like it's like I can't deal with all the other shit I have to do if I'm thinking about making poop all the time, right? So the smooth muscles are what we call involuntary muscles, meaning you do not control that. It's on autopilot. You can't control it. And because you can't control it, you're also not going to be able to do a workout to make it better, right?
Okay.
For
So-
your overall stool health, you can eat fiber,
Right.
you can stay well hydrated.
But it sounds like you
can-
got to think a little bit before you shove things in your ass.
You can
apparently.
increase your bowel motility by walking.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes chewing gum, in fact. But you can't like work your colon into being like a stronger
How much
colon.
would I have to walk to be able to put a koosh ball in my butt and get it out whenever I needed to play with it? Let's end on that. You want to end on that?
No, well,
you don't.
okay, fine. Well, my recommendation is just like there are lots of anal-friendly sex toys out there, and if you want to put things in your butt, like go look those things
Yeah,
up from
do
a
it.
reputable sex toy vendor, and make sure that there's it's usually called like a flange, which is something so that it can't go in.
Brim, yeah, that so it doesn't go all the way in there.
Yeah. So that's that. Why don't we leave it on that?
Right. I've loved doing this again. Let's give a kiss. Okay. We love you guys. Thanks for bearing with us. And we'll be back soon. The Full Release Podcast. Tell your friends. Hide your wife. Hide your kids. Don't get COVID.